Hello, everybody. Bravo here today to have some fun in the fog. Right now, this gameplay, it's a recording of me playing Wraith against what I thought were some pretty decent survivors. And after considering it, I was like, no, I didn't really do all that great against them. But hey, man, I made the game last for a little while, so I thought we would end up taking this as the video that we were going to end up posting. For a few reasons. One, I wanted to end up showcasing some more of my killer skills, which this, you can argue, may be showing that skill. It may be showing that lack of skill and what makes the difference between, a high rank killer and a green rank killer. I may be showing that today, but we'll see. I had a lot of fun with this game, and there is no shortage of mind games. However, we're just going to end up sitting back and seeing how this team ends up doing what they ended up doing so well. And that's keep pressure on me and getting generators done. There's this one player in particular. It's not the Tap. It's not either the Claudettes, but the Claudettes, they kind of contribute in it later on. But this player right here, if we just take a look at the way that she loops, don't know the name of the survivor, you're just gonna see, like, I've learned so much about how to loop this map from this survivor. And as you can see how terribly confused I wasn't certain where she went. And yeah, there you go. Here's one of those times that being in your cloak isn't so good. Normally I don't mind it, but trying to navigate these structures is just... It's a new way of looping for sure that I'm not used to dealing with. So, hey, man, like, when you think you've learned all there is to learn about Dead by Daylight, just you wait and see. Because new maps, new loops, new problems, man. New problems. So maybe I can end up applying that once I'm a survivor. So that's kind of the beauty of playing both Killer and Survivor, is I really learn how to play the counterpart is when I start getting beat. As Killer, I learn how to play Survivor. When I start playing Survivor, I learn what good killers do. And just imitate, see what works for you. That's just kind of how I do. So it's always a good opportunity to take the time to appreciate opponents and learn from them. Sometimes, like, it's moments like this, I wish I also had a live recording so you could see, like, how frustrated I was at points with this enemy team. This Tappy's being very frustrating, although he's not necessarily getting the vaults that he wanted from that. That's a common theme that this survivor does, and I like to do it too since I run balance landing, is just chill on an upper level, make the killer come to me once I feel like the killer's come close enough, balance landing away. It's a lot of distance that you can create. It's very perk-based thing to do, but, there's a reason that we're given only 4 perks. There's a reason why we're given statuses like exhaustion, so you don't just run dead hard, sprint burst, balance landing altogether, right? So yeah, I remember hearing something, but I wasn't certain. This little troll of a Claudette is running sprint burst like a pro. So later on, what I try to do to deal with this is, yeah, sometimes I have to commit, and that's what I do in situations like this. But either I'll chase while I'm cloaked, knowing that the sprint burst in my cloak, there's less of a difference in our speeds. And then there's also, times that there'll be multiple survivors there. She'll sprint burst away, and I'll just give up chase. So it's not a great way of dealing with sprint burst, but it's one way I've dealt with it. And all those years, all those times I've heard killers complain about sprint burst in the past, I always thought it was a weaker exhaustion perk, but lo and behold, sprint burst it's the bane of my Wraith play sometimes. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with this Tap here. I know I've hooked him, I think, only once up until this point, but hey, man, he's the weakest link, and I think the choice I basically made here was I just want to end up getting a kill. I think that was balance landing, is he got quite a bit of distance. Yeah, mind game didn't work there. And as we can see, yeah, and the team's just chilling. This is like, This can backfire against survivors for sure when you end up grouping up too much. Mostly it's those times when like no ed pops and then suddenly you're all going down like flies. That's when it's bad to group. It's bad to group, let's say, against a Legion or something. But against a Wraith, oh man, like, was it ever troll? Here was interesting because Buddy's trying to defend her buddy, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. You've demonstrated that you're a really good survivor. You've been trolling me. I'm going to do the opposite of what you want me to do and hit you. And that was the closest thing to Defiance I could demonstrate against this survivor. She was so good. And we're going to see, there's going to be a few more chases later on in this video, and she just rocks me. I think I may have hooked her once in this whole game. It was a very satisfying moment, I have to admit. But, hey, man, you know, this is definitely one of those times I need to, like, remind people I faced a very good team. So, yeah, that little pause there, I'm just kind of looking for the words to describe, like, it's a combination between, like, man, I'm mad at that you guys are so good. Like, why did you bother putting this time into the game? Like a hit like that was... I'm going to try that on killers now, see if it works. Because it worked on me, right? It's like survivors like this. It's like, damn, why are you so good? But then again, it's like, damn, you're so good. Like that right there. They just know how to keep me at the very edge, apply pressure. You know, one could also argue that perhaps, you know, it's a new map, so that could be one of my weaknesses. It's a new map, therefore the devs need to look at balancing the loops. I'm loving these breakable walls, but it seems as though, if we recall earlier when there was those 2 breakable walls, but the window was a shortcut for the survivors and their looping. The time to stop and break the walls, the time it is the extra few seconds to go around the corners. It just makes such a world of difference that, dare I argue, that breakable walls, just leave them open originally, devs, and we killers won't have such an issue with it. But then again, maybe it's a me problem, and I need to learn how to deal with these breakable walls. But they presented a new challenge. It's only one new thing, but whew, it adds so much to potential, what we can do. And then also, you know, like how survivors move in that. Yeah, I know as Survivor already, I've been trying to use these breakable walls to my advantage, whether that's trying to get a killer to break a wall, to make an area dead, or whatever. But yeah, it's an interesting new facet of the game. All right, just talking about the gameplay that's going on in general here. At this point in time, it's just try and keep the game going as long as possible. Create as much pressure as I can. And that's just been rotating on the generators, getting injuries. And then at the very least, when I get these injuries, when I damage the generators, when I put pressure, it's more time I buy for myself. Is that necessarily a good thing, though? Because, you know, the team's still beating me. It's just a matter of time with how many people they have alive. With this tap here I mentioned earlier, I decided, fuck it, I'm going to tunnel somebody. I chose to tunnel this tap because I think at this point I knew he had 2 hooks, and the last time I was tunneling him, he just got away, or I gave up chase, whatever. This time I secured the kill, and at this point in time, my mindset was like, okay, I just got to keep pressuring generators. I know that they're on this one. They weren't really working on the other one closer, so I'm more than willing to just go back and forth, take hits on the more vulnerable survivors. Sprint bursto. There we go. And so then I ended up deciding to end up switching targets as a result of that. I heard this person fall. I don't know if you can notice it in the audio of this video, as maybe it's a little low, or my voice is too loud, or maybe it's too quiet. But I heard her fall, so then I immediately turn after I end up getting the hit that I wanted. Lo and behold, you know, they're all just hanging out. They're doing something. They're providing really amazing pressure here. I have to admit it, and I very much admire it. But at the same time, this is a stagnation of the game, so it's not good on the killer perspective, for sure, because as killer, you want to be driving the pace. I'm not getting hooks right now. I'm not slugging. I'm not really progressing my game that much. And now that I've said it, if I were to do things differently, maybe I should have just slugged and just let them be. And this is the thing I was doing near the end. The generators are so close to popping that even after getting it down, it's good to check the area, at least in my opinion. I could have picked up this survivor, walked over to this hook here, hooked them, and by the time I got back to that generator, it could have just popped if I didn't check it. Now what I'm doing is, again, there's only 3 generators. I mean, what else is there for me to really do? Chase survivors, check generators. Still haven't worked on this one. They weren't working on that one. See, they've gotten the hook save. Right now I'm going in to see if I can't figure out where they would have went. I didn't really look that hard. Maybe I just heard a bandage or something. I admit the noises on this map were throwing me off quite a bit because the vultures make different noises than I'm used to. And there you go. There was my opportunity to get this survivor, and I fucked it up. Don't know whether to say if it's her skill or my lack of skill in that moment. It's really hard to say. And as you can see, she just ends up getting a ton of pallets. Yes, that swing was on purpose to try and bait out the pallets. What I'm trying to do here is pressure her the way I want her to go. But lo and behold, everywhere I pressure her, this is pallet number 3. I'm pressuring her towards pallets. I take the gamble, I lose, no big deal. It's but the game we play sometimes. There's those cheeky ones where they drop the pallet on you and you get them by the very tippy tip. You just got to go for these things, straight up. Just got to go for them. Just how I feel about it. I mean, clearly in this demonstration, these aren't paying off. They aren't paying off, but I don't know. Can't play too scared. Yeah, I was just like, fuck it. I ain't even gonna bother with this girl. Yeah, I got myself a hit there. Yeah, well, this is really all it is. There's a point at the end I do want to highlight though, just because if you've followed through with watching my videos until the end, especially Survivor, you're gonna see I'm quite BM-y. You know, I teabag or whatever. I see no demonstration of my BM right there. I'll nod. I'll hit the bell. I'll do whatever I can just to have some fun with the survivors. Maybe celebrate more than I should. So here, this is one of those moments where it's just like, fuck, what do I do? Because I wanted to check out here. I know they finished that generator. Maybe they could have been there and I just didn't look hard enough. I just didn't care because I didn't see scratch marks, so I thought I'd take a look around. I do end up finding scratch marks, and that's kind of exactly what I want because I want to end up doing a chase. They're injured, all the better. I don't really care about them unhooking, buddy, at this point. Like, the truth is like, if you really want to camp and hold an objective, like, you can, but that's not why I play Dead by Daylight. I play it for the chases, and I play it for the interaction I get with other people. So, you know, playing this game, looking for another chase, and interacting with this individual, you know, at least, you know, that's kind of what I was accomplishing here. What I wanted to do was make that area less useful by breaking the wall, but then they just migrated to someplace safer. And I was hoping I would have been able to block the pallet to get my counterpart, this survivor here. She slammed it on me before I could. And now here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I remember there being more teabagging. Oh, well. But yeah, that was a great game from my perspective. I had fun. It was very, very tough. And yeah, these survivors put it to me. However, I didn't let them just get away with it for, well, they got away with their lives. But hey, I got 25,000 points in the process, so it wasn't totally terrible. I'll put it like that. But thank you, everybody, for coming and viewing this killer game. And I hope we all end up having a good day. Take care.